When you go silent, his true feelings are exposed. Listen, let me tell you something real quick. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. See, ladies, y'all out here trying to explain yourself, trying to love harder. You texting, calling, checking up on him, doing everything short of writing him a 12-page love letter like y'all in the 90s. And he busy. He forgot. He didn't see the message. Come on now. Let me break it down to you when you go silent. That's when the game flips. That's when the truth walks in the room. That's when you stop playing checkers and start playing chess. Because see, when you stop talking, he ain't got no shield, no sweet words, no excuses to hide behind. Your silence puts a mirror in his face. Now he got to sit with himself. And let me tell you, a man who really cares, he won't sit too long before he comes looking for you. But a man who don't, he'll be just fine. Matter of fact, he might even celebrate your silence. Why? Because your voice was the one thing reminding him he needed to grow up. See, silence ain't about punishment. It's about peace. It's about self-respect. It's about saying, I ain't gonna beg you to love me, right? Because when you stop talking, you finally start listening to yourself. Your gut been talking this whole time, baby. You just been too busy talking over it. You wanna know how he really feels? Don't ask him again. Don't text him again. Don't chase. Just go quiet, go still. Watch what he does. Does he step up or does he fade out? Does he call or does he wait till you break? Because let me tell you something about silence. It don't lie. And if you don't come correct, that's silence. Baby, let that be the sound of your heels walking away. There is a moment when silence becomes louder than words, when walking away speaks more powerfully than staying to explain. That moment when you stop talking, stop explaining yourself, stop chasing someone who clearly doesn't value your voice, is when the energy begins to shift. This shift isn't just emotional, it's spiritual, psychological, and deeply personal. It's not about making someone miss you. It's about reclaiming the power you gave away while trying to be understood by someone who was never listening in the first place. You see, when you're constantly the one initiating the conversation, trying to fix things, asking, what's wrong? Clarifying your intentions, or justifying your love, you're pouring from a cup that no one is refilling. You're playing a one-sided game. And as long as you keep playing it, the other person has no reason to step up. Why would they? You're doing all the emotional labor. You're giving them all the benefits of your presence while they give you crumbs of attention. But the moment you go silent, when you stop explaining what should be obvious, when you stop defending your worth, when you stop chasing someone who doesn't even know what to do with the gift that is you, you take back control. You remove the noise. You stop filling in the gaps. You stop covering for them. And when you do that, something powerful happens. They're left alone with themselves. See, silence is uncomfortable for people who've gotten used to your noise. You're checking in, your concern, your good morning texts, your long paragraphs, your let's talk this out energy. That was their comfort zone. That noise allowed them to avoid accountability. That noise distracted them from the truth, that they weren't showing up the way they should. But when that stops, when the music cuts off, all they're left with is their own reflection. And trust me, that reflection is loud. Suddenly, the reality hits. They realize the conversations aren't happening because you're no longer initiating them. The apologies aren't coming because you've stopped begging for them. The relationship isn't moving forward because you've stopped pushing it uphill alone. And if they care at all, if there was any genuine feeling underneath all that passivity, they will feel the absence like a vacuum. Because your silence does what your words couldn't, it reveals their true investment. A person who genuinely values you will not sit comfortably in your silence. They will come forward. They will ask questions. They will reach out, not to blame or guilt trip you, but to fix what they broke. Because silence from someone you love is loud. It echoes. It haunts. It demands a response. But a person who was only there for convenience, a person who was benefiting from your effort while giving you the bare minimum, they'll be just fine. Your silence won't rattle them. In fact, they might feel relieved because now they no longer have to pretend. And that's when you see their true colors. Not because they said anything, but because they didn't. This is why silence is powerful. It's not passive. It's not weakness. It's not manipulation. It's clarity. It's saying, I've said all I needed to say. Now I'll let your actions speak. And trust me, they will. Whether that action is stepping up or disappearing, you'll get your answer. Without the noise, without the confusion, without the drama. And here's the beautiful part. While they're over there being confused by your silence, you're over here rediscovering your peace. Because when you stop chasing, you start breathing. When you stop explaining, you start healing. When you stop talking, you start listening to your intuition, your needs, your boundaries. You stop begging to be heard and start valuing the sound of your own self-respect. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to your energy, your explanations, or your love. Some people only realize your worth in your absence. And while that realization might be too late for them, it will never be too late for you. Because silence doesn't just expose their truth, it reveals yours. It shows you just how strong you are when you stop needing someone to validate what you already knew deep down. So if you're tired of repeating yourself, if you're tired of proving your worth, if you're tired of loving someone who doesn't know how to love you back, try silence. Not as a game, not as punishment, but as a path to peace. Let your quiet speak the words your heart is tired of saying. Let your stillness send the message your soul has known all along. When you fall silent, it doesn't go unnoticed. In fact, your silence can speak louder than every word you ever said. The way a man reacts to that silence, that's where the truth lies. You don't need long conversations, dramatic arguments, or endless explanations. Just stop talking and watch what happens. His reaction will tell you everything you need to know. Whether he truly values you, whether he's been taking you for granted, or whether he was only ever comfortable when you were doing all the work. See, when you're constantly reaching out, checking in, initiating conversations, making plans, or fixing problems, it becomes easy for a man to settle into a pattern where he expects that from you. You become the emotional engine of the connection, always moving it forward, always making it make sense. But when you stop, when you fall quiet and step back, it throws off the whole dynamic. Suddenly, he has to carry the weight you are lifting alone. And if he can't or won't, you just learned more about him in that silence than in all the times you were speaking. Silence removes the safety net. It removes the performance. A man who was only comfortable when you were over-giving, over-explaining, and over-loving won't know what to do when you stop. He'll start to realize that the relationship wasn't moving forward on its own. It was your energy pushing it. And now that you've stepped back, the truth shows up like a spotlight on a dark stage. Does he come forward to meet you? Does he notice the shift and try to fix it? Or does he disappear into the silence like he was never really there in the first place? The man who values you won't let your silence linger for long. He'll feel the absence of your presence, not just because you're gone, but because your energy was something he respected and cared for. He won't be able to sit still knowing you're pulling away. He'll check in. He'll ask questions. He won't assume it'll matter to him. Because when a man genuinely values a woman, her silence is not just noticed, it's felt. And he doesn't feel attacked by it. He feels the loss of connection and wants to restore it. But the man who's been taking you for granted, he'll interpret your silence as attitude. He'll call it drama. He might even try to guilt trip you for going quiet, flipping the script to make himself the victim. Why? Because your silence takes away his comfort. It takes away the control he had when you were doing all the emotional lifting. When a man is used to you chasing, explaining, and fixing, your silence becomes threatening, not because it's cruel, but because it's honest. It shows him that you're no longer playing the role he cast you in. And then there's the man who was never truly invested to begin with. The one who was just along for the ride, enjoying the perks of your presence without doing the work to earn it. That man, he'll vanish the moment you stop showing up. No calls, no texts, no effort. Just silence in return. And while that might sting at first, it's actually a blessing in disguise. Because that reaction reveals the truth. He was only there because it was easy. The moment he had to do something, he opted out. And now you know. This is why silence is a tool, not a tactic. It's not about playing games. It's about observing reality without interference. Your silence removes the distractions. It clears the emotional fog. It shows you exactly where he stands. Not where he says he stands, but where his actions place him when the noise is gone. It lets you see whether the connection is mutual or just something you've been carrying on your own. A man's reaction to your silence might break your heart, but it will never lie to you. It'll either affirm your worth or confirm your doubts. It'll either pull him closer or push him away. But either way, you get an answer. Ah, real one. No more guessing, no more overthinking. No more waiting on mixed signals, just clarity. So when you feel yourself always being the one to hold it together, to speak up, to fix what's broken, to chase what's fading, try silence. Not to punish him, but to free yourself, because his reaction will tell you everything you need to know, and more importantly, everything you need to do. There's a moment, a quiet shift when you decide to stop speaking. You don't yell. You don't plead. You don't try to explain yourself for the 100th time. You just stop. And in that silence, something powerful begins to stir. Something deeper than words. That stillness doesn't just settle between you and him. It begins to bounce back, like an echo. But this echo, it's not your voice anymore. It's his truth coming back to meet you, louder, clearer, and more honest than anything he ever said to your face. You see, silence is not emptiness. It's not nothingness. It's space. And in that space, Everything that was being covered up by your words starts to rise to the surface. When you stop speaking, you're no longer buffering his actions with your explanations. You're no longer softening the blow with your compassion. You're no longer filling the void with your effort. You're just quiet. And in that quiet, the real sound starts to come through. That sound is who he is. When no one is holding his hand, when no one is guiding the connection, when no one is doing the emotional heavy lifting, that is the echo, and it's honest. Maybe that echo is commitment. Maybe in your silence, he hears how much he misses your voice, your presence, your energy, and he realizes he's not okay without it. That echo can shake him awake. It can trigger him to reflect, to mature, to take action he's been avoiding. Some men need silence to hear their own hearts. Some men can only process their feelings in the absence of constant emotional noise. So when you stop talking, it may lead him to step forward, to grow up, to say, I get it now. I want to do this right. That echo, if it's genuine, will come back as clarity and care. But sometimes that echo is indifference. Cold, heavy, and hollow. You stop talking, nothing comes back. Not a message, not a call, not even curiosity, just silence in return. And that silence, that is his answer. It tells you that your presence didn't mean as much to him as it did to you. It tells you that your voice, your feelings, your efforts weren't landing in the way you hoped. And as painful as that is, it's still truth. You stop speaking and realize he never really listened in the first place. That echo, empty and quiet, lets you know he was never invested. And now, with your silence, you've just confirmed it. Then there's the echo of guilt. That's a different sound. It doesn't come right away. It might take days, weeks, sometimes even longer, but it comes. When you stop speaking, and he starts replaying all the times you reached out and he ignored you. All the times you expressed your needs and he brushed them off. All the chances you gave, the grace you offered, the tears you swallowed. In your silence, his conscience starts talking. And for some men, that's the first time they actually hear what you were saying all along. That guilt may not lead to reconciliation. It might not even lead to an apology, but it shows up sometimes in his late night texts, sometimes in his sudden check-ins, sometimes in the way he suddenly watches your stories, trying to feel close without actually being close. Whatever the echo is, commitment, indifference, or guilt, it will return louder than your words ever did. Because silence creates a mirror. When you were talking, he could hide behind your words. He could tune them out. He could pretend not to understand. But silence, that's different. Silence shows him himself. No one likes being left alone with their own reflection if they're not proud of what they see. And let's be real, you're not going silent to manipulate him. This isn't about playing games. This is about giving the situation room to reveal its truth. You've talked enough, explained enough, tried enough. Now, the most honest thing you can do is step back and let the echo come. Let it hit him. Let it speak for you. What comes back may hurt, or it may heal. It may be the beginning of